Hey guys, so I was at a restaurant yesterday and was talking about thinking with a friend, and the waiter, actually, the guy, he was actually the son of the owner. He actually came up and was like asking me questions. Oh, are you talking about thinking? Oh, yeah, because he's learning critical thinking and being encouraged to think critically in college. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So we got into a whole conversation about it, but I realized at that moment, like, this is not something we teach in general, and wow, he's learning it in college, when really this is something we need to be teaching our kids from a very young age, and that's exactly what I was talking to with my girlfriend about, and that's why we were talking about it. In fact, our kids really need it more than we think. They're being marketed to more than any generation ever, but I'll get to that. So, my thought was, how do you think? I remember being in the Andrew Pudewa conference for our Institute for Excellence in Writing, and he asked us that, a room full of teachers and adults, or homeschool moms. It was a room full of teachers, basically, and none of us could really answer it. Like, well, we use our brain. He was seriously asking us, how do you think? We could not come up with a satisfactory answer. So he let us know, well, you ask questions. Okay, this is not a totally new concept, but it kind of was. And basically what he taught us through that conference was, if you are thinking and asking questions, you should be able to write an entire paper on this pencil. He actually took out a gum wrapper, and we had to think of questions to ask about the gum wrapper. What size is the pencil? What is it used for? Who might use a pencil? Is there a difference between using a pencil and a pen? There are whole papers out there why you should use a pen as opposed to a pencil. He even has his students for their rough drafts write with a pen, because it doesn't get dull, and you don't have to go through the frustration of sharpening. I like a pencil. I like to keep 5 sharpened pencils with me whenever I'm doing anything that I'm going to be doing for a while, because I like a nice sharp pencil. But yes, I can see the annoyance of having to get up and sharpen. I mean, what kid wants to get up and happen to sharpen their pencil? Is there a difference in erasers? Some schools want only Ticonderoga pencils. Why is that? What is the purpose of that? So if we're really thinking critically, we should be able to take something simple, a very simple object, and be able to ask questions, and you should be able to write an entire paper on it. So it's very interesting. It's a great, great conference. I highly recommend it if you ever get the chance to take the Excellence in Writing conference. I loved it. But we really are a society of non-thinkers. I mean, people don't want us to think. Think about it. Marketers, they market us like crazy. They put people in that, into their commercials that, are proclaiming to be experts, and, famous people, just all kinds of things. They don't want you to think. They want you to buy their product and not think about it. They don't want you to do research. They want you to know their name, and they want you to purchase it. TV, same thing. They are definitely, I watch some of my kids' cartoons or shows that they watch. They have agendas. We cannot let our kids not be thinking. Yeah, there's too much. Video games, same thing. I'm not trying to say anything against video games. My kids love video games. Heck, I love video games. The Just Dance games are some of my favorites. So I'm not trying to say anything against video games, but the same thing. You can sit there and not think for a very long time. I even remember in the military, I'm not going to say too much about this, when I was in, our drill sergeants would tell us, don't think, just do what I tell you. And so even there, it's like, we don't want you to think, we want you to do what we tell. And I'm sorry, I don't want to put teachers down, but there are a lot of things that are being taught that they don't want you to think, they just want you to believe what they say. And I've heard many kids come and say, no, well, to their parents, my teacher said this is true, so it's got to be true. And I'm glad that their teachers have that respect from them, but at the same time, we need to make sure that, our kids are ready to ask some questions. So I'm not going to go too further into that. I know some great teachers. I'm not trying to put teachers down either. But we need to be asking questions. There's the big questions. For example, just talking about TV. What makes this person an expert? If I'm watching a commercial and Shaquille O'Neal is, advertising for some kind of a bandage, sports bandage, okay, Sure, he knows more about it than the average person, probably, especially me. I don't play sports. However, what makes him an expert? You know, same thing about any actor or actress or sports authority. What makes him an expert on that? Great, he is an expert at basketball, but is he an expert about bandages? Okay, they're not going to put the doctor out there because he's not going to make them money. I get that. But we need to be careful about that. What makes this person an expert? There are many documentaries out there right now that you need to be asking that. What makes this person an expert? What evidence are they providing? You should look at that. Particularly watching documentaries, you need to look at the evidence that they are providing. Science, even when your kids are bringing home science things, you know, sometimes depending on your we like to call them glasses. Are you looking at from a creation glasses, or are you looking from it from a evolutionist glasses? Your kids are being taught one way or another. You should have questions there, and you should be asking what evidence are they providing, and help your kids walk through that. Don't make it too abstract. Help them with that. But even in just a documentary, what evidence are they providing? Sometimes the evidence they are providing doesn't necessarily line up with what they are trying to prove. And so you need to watch that. And they may give you great evidence and it's awesome, but what are they trying to prove? And did it really back that up? So those are important things. And then really, once you know you're done with a lot of that stuff, you should be asking, well, do I believe what they taught? Do I believe what I'm being told? And why? It's very simple questioning, not too difficult, but it seems really kind of duh. But it's going to help you really put your thoughts down, like, okay, you don't have to write it. I do, but you don't have to. But it will help you to, you know, well, why do I believe that that's true? And do I believe that it's true? I don't know if I do. So it's just something to really think about. And you may, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you really should know why you believe that. I think it's important. But even simple stuff. Looking at our kids, you know, I remember watching several of my kids' cartoons when they were younger, and I'm sorry, some of those kids were brats, and I don't want to say anything wrong about the cartoons, but just watching some of those, I would ask my kids, what is wrong with that child's behavior? And do you think that they need to have a punishment for it? And I was always excited when my kids agreed that yes, they do need a punishment. They are acting like a brat, and they would get away with it. That's not okay. And I would point that out to my kids. Like, how do you think that child's going to act from here on out? Did they just get away with doing that? Are they going to continue to do that? And then the other thing was, you know, I just don't like how much they make parents look really stupid in some of their cartoons. So I would ask, does mommy really act like that? Does daddy really act like that? Are we really stupid like that? And they would, of course, no, you're not like that at all, you know, and I don't like the way they're portraying it. They're making the kids look like they're way smarter, and kids are smart. My kids are way too smart, but they're making the parents look like they're really stupid, and I don't like the kind of questioning authority that they're doing between parents and children, but we won't get into that. So simple stuff. You really have to be watching these things with your kids. Advertisements. Our kids are advertised to more than any generation, and it's just going to get worse. They see all kinds of things. I would ask my kids, what does that toy really do? You're looking at a Barbie and they've got all these flashing lights, and the girls in the commercials are so excited. They're the happiest in their life that they've ever been because they have the Barbie, the holiday Barbie 2009. Okay, does she, and you know, she's walking and they're glamorous because they have her, and you know, they really portray that this toy is going to make them the happiest they've ever been in their entire lives. And I just ask my kids, so once you get that Barbie, what is it going to do for you? It's just going to stay in the box, right? Or you're going to play with it. Are you going to look beautiful like that because you got Barbie? Or, you know, because you got that Lego? Are you all of a sudden going to have an army in your room? Okay, I get that they're playing on the kids' imaginations, which is awesome. I want my kids to imagine and play imaginary games. But they need to know, this toy is just going to do this. This transformer, yes, it'll transform. It's cool. But that's all it's going to do. It's not going to walk on its own. It's not going to, you know, bring other transformers in. And Yeah, they needed to know stuff like that. I don't want to kill their enjoyment of it, but I also want them to know when they're asking me, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that, that'll make me the happiest I've ever been, or, whatever it is that they want the kids to believe, I need them to know, well, it's a toy. And in about 2 weeks after you get it, just like all your other toys, you're going to be tired of it. So I think that was really important. And yeah, just really, will that make you happy? I mean, that's just so big. Like, is that going to make you happy? Or in 2 weeks, are you going to see another toy on TV that you want just as much or even more? And in 2 weeks, are you going to be tired of that toy? More than likely. So it's very important, even from a young age, that we start asking these kinds of questions, and we help our kids ask those kinds of questions. I've done it since my kids were pretty little, because I couldn't stand the messages that were being sent to my kids, and I couldn't just let it just slide. I just couldn't. So anyways, I will probably be doing a few more videos that go more in depth into how to think when reading fiction or watching a movie. Or I don't want to ruin your movie time, and I don't want to ruin all of that. However, I really do want to talk about questions. So anyways, all right, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.